Hello and welcome to the Mortal Kombat Minute, the podcast where we analyze, criticize, and memorialize the 1995 film Mortal Kombat one electrifying minute at a time. I'm Phil Casper from philcasper.net.
I'm Spanish from GameFixShow.com.
And we are on minute number 18. This minute starts with Raiden intervening on the face-off between our fighters and Scorpion and SubZero, and ends with Shang Tsung telling Sonya she has been chosen, much to his delight.
Like she was like some kind of delectable like dessert or something like that.
Yeah, we'll get to there eventually. But first, we start with I noted down as a nervous looking Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this minute, because
I would agree.
Yeah, he's very unsure of himself, or at least he's not sure how to proceed, because he just looked at this demon thing emerging from a man's palm.
Not only that, there was also somebody that just broke a gun in half with freezing it with his hand. So yeah, I would be a little confused.
And I'd be a little nervous too, even if I didn't know martial arts.
But it doesn't stop there, because right after that happens, we start the minute with this bolt, these random bolts of lightning which are not random, obviously, because they are controlled by none other than Rayden. He is the god of lightning, so and he hits Scorpion and SubZero with these two bolts of lightning that kind of just pushes them away.
Right. I like the fact that they're color coordinated.
They are color coordinated.
One's orange, one orange is, and one is blue. One for SubZero and Scorpion.
Which I don't know why they even did that, but okay, that's fair.
Maybe it was good for like the graphics people to like know while they were working on it in post, like just like, okay, this is Scorpion's, this is SubZero's.
Yeah, that could be.
I don't know, but well, I love this action sequence. It's fantastic.
Plus the electricity kind of covers them up, so maybe it shows what color they are too.
Right, exactly.
So you know who's who.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so in the bolts of lightning just like kind of like they go through or over our fighters. They ignore like Liu Kang and
controlled, like
Johnny
I said.
Cage. Yeah. Yep, very controlled. And so and my favorite shot here is with the close-up shot that we have of SubZero's face as he's getting pushed back against the hull of the ship, and then also like pushed up against the wall. That was just my favorite thing.
Let's talk about that real quick, because let's talk about just SubZero for now. So when SubZero gets pushed against for what it looks like the door, it's hard to tell.
Right. I'm wondering if it's like either a loading door or a door that would be used, to point a cannon out of or something like that.
Right.
Like, yeah, because it's slotted and like designed to roll up. It looks like if
you notice it doesn't have the design, the window in, so it's not the same door that we were, that we thought they walked in the first place.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Where he was hit, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I figured it was always just against the hull of the ship.
Right? Yeah, you're probably right. I don't.
Yeah,
there's not really much going to say like if who's right or who's wrong here.
Right.
I'm going to give it to you though.
But it could also just be a passageway, because there are lamps on each side of it.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned the lamps too.
Is there something special about the lamps that I don't know?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think there's anything special. Although, when he's hit against the wall there, if you notice, those lamps do kind of move. Yeah. So it's not like they're just staying still and like there's nothing going on. So it just shows like how much that electricity power is hitting them. But what you can't see, and I'm guessing, is each of those lamps had probably some kind of string or something, because that's what it looks like once he gets hit against the wall. It looks like somebody's kind of pulling on those to give it that.
Oh, okay. The shaking effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you kind of see behind the curtain or whatever, like somebody's like pulling off screen a little bit. Okay.
Because if you really look at it, it doesn't really go with the power of the electricity. It just kind of goes crazy.
Yeah.
So that, which leads me to believe that as far as like behind the scenes, that it was probably like hooked up with like a fishing line or something like that, and you couldn't see it.
It wasn't really matching up that well with the special effects on the screen.
No, I mean it was definitely, they had to do that, because if they didn't, it wouldn't look right.
Yeah, wouldn't have as powerful of an effect.
Yes,
right.
Yes. So, but you can obviously see that like somebody is like pulling that. Like that's what it looks like, at least to me. I don't know.
No. You know, thinking about it now, you are totally right on that.
Right.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
thought that was kind of funny. But then we see Scorpion like being thrown towards the three heroes.
Right.
But
or kind of beside, I guess.
Yeah, but we don't really know where he went.
Yeah, we don't know where he goes. He's just getting like tossed about like a rag doll. He's even like flailing in the air as he's being tossed about by this electricity.
Right.
And actually, I don't think in the last minute when we were introduced to Scorpion and SubZero that we actually named the actors who portrayed them. So do you have that information on hand? I know you.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because like even after we were done with that minute, I think I said like, oh man, I wish I would have had that. You know, like what are you doing here? But yeah, so the actual actors for that are portraying Scorps, as we like to call him, or at least how I like to call him, Chris Casamassa. Is that Casamassa?
I'll allow it. Yeah,
sure, you'll allow it. And SubZero played Francois Petit.
Okay. Well,
I'll go with that.
Yeah, I feel that's a lot better. Yeah, easier to pronounce that name, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
at least that's where at least we know the actors. They're not really known for a lot of stuff other than a lot of like martial art movies and stuff like that.
Okay. Do they do a lot of stunt work as well?
Yeah, I'd say more stunt work than anything.
Okay. And
you don't really see their face, so it almost doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly. But they have really cool masks.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Casamassa. I mean, he was in Blade. He was in Batman and Robin. He was in so there's a lot of things, but like he was the henchman, or he was like he was never really
one of the main guys.
Yeah. But obviously he has skills. There's a reason why he was casted as Scorpion in this case, and same with SubZero. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as Scorpion is being tossed about, I noticed in that scene or in that shot that our heroes or our fighters are like standing off to the side a little bit. Like they're just chilling. They have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Right. Well, I mean, how would you know? It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly. Like that I would just be totally dumbfounded, like awestruck, like just watching, like, oh my gosh, lightning just came into this room, filled the entire place with light. And then missiles flying everywhere. No, but I with this scene and what happened with SubZero and Scorpion, I can't help but think it was potentially a nod to one of Raiden's special moves, his torpedo special move specifically. Yes. So, and for those that are unfamiliar with the game, Raiden just like all of a sudden like flies through the air, like he does the reverse of a drop kick. Really, he flies out with his fists in front of him and just shoots like a torpedo towards his enemy, and then barrels into them and pushes them back.
You mean like with his hands out straight and he's like flat like a board?
Yeah. Well, and then he has that scream.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to call it. Are you ready? It might be inappropriate. I don't know. It's not. It's called we called it the flying pee-pee holder. So, that was okay. At one point in my life.
A little bit of a Spanish's childhood that I don't know if I wanted to know about, but
no, that's all you get, really.
That's all I want.
Let's stick with the minute though. So after he hits Scorpion and SubZero, we see the three heroes that are kind of like looking at what's happening, and then all three of them turn around at the same time because the lightning kind of comes back into one area, and then all of a sudden we see Raiden, and then he yells, "Enough!"
One minor nit to pick. There was just one one inconsistency with our fighters and where they were standing. In like the previous shot, they were standing to the side of that bridge.
Yep.
And then in the shot where Raiden makes his appearance and materializes from the lightning, they're standing directly in front of the bridge again.
Right.
So
I would say it's a little nitpick, but yeah, I'm with you on that one. But
I like to pick
think
nits.
to make the shot, they had to kind of.
Oh yeah, they had to. Yeah. Anyway, just
you want
one thing.
you want a big nitpick? Because I got one.
Sure.
Liu Kang is there, and he's standing in front of his brother's killer, and says nothing.
He doesn't seem all that angry, or especially since he was so angry with the elders at the temple. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go find my brother's killer, whether you like it or not.
It was the first time in the movie that he laid eyes on Shang Tsung apart from his dream, and he didn't even like seem bothered by it. And for me, that was like a big like, what the heck? Because like really all they had to do is have him like try to like go after him, and then Raiden say not now or something like that, and then kind of stop him. Okay, that would have been fine, but that didn't happen either. So
yeah, a lot of power was like taken away from that scene, I guess, like just by the lack of like showing any emotion from Liu Kang whenever he sees his brother's killer.
Well, so after Raiden, forms himself, he's full body or whatever. Excuse me. Shang Tsung then refers to him as Lord Raiden. How good of you to grace us with your presence. And he pauses there because he's obviously not happy to see him.
Like, Raiden, you're messing up my plans here.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you're encroaching on my decrees.
So when Raiden appears, though, we need to note that he has a different appearance. He has different clothes on, very white clothes, very white hair as well. He doesn't have his signature coolie hat. No hat.
Yeah, no hat.
R.I.P. coolie hat. But
I don't think he wears it again in the whole movie. It doesn't matter.
But yeah. So Shang Tsung just seems a little perturbed that Raiden shows up at the inopportune time. That Shang Tsung could like potentially, I guess, thin the competition out a little bit.
Totally.
And Raiden chastises Shang Tsung, saying, like calling the Scorpion and SubZero sideshow freaks. That attacking his fighters is expressly forbidden before the tournament, as your Emperor well knows. I think this is the first time that they mentioned the Emperor, by name in the movie, like not by full name, but just refer to him as the Emperor.
They never mention him by full name,
right?
But Shao Kahn is the Emperor, so that would be for the next movie, though. So
right, exactly.
You don't know that.
But I do like the reference to the Emperor, though, like that there is some higher being that Shang Tsung answers to.
Right. And then, of course, Shang Tsung then quickly says, "My sincere apologies. It won't happen again. I promise you." But with kind of a Chester smile, kind of a, you know what I mean? Kind of like,
and then also a little grunt.
Yeah.
on Raiden of disbelief.
Right. He's like, but then quickly answered by Raiden saying, I shall see to that.
Yep. And of course, also Shang Tsung is quick to remind Raiden that, until we reach the island where you have no dominion or power for that matter.
Right.
Which implies that then like that this island that they're going to is out of this realm or in between realms.
I think it's more of an in-between thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But but then of course Raiden goes, "My dominions are well known to me, sorcerer." And then I love it. I love the last thing he says. "Thank you."
just returning a little bit of snark there.
Yeah. You could tell that they don't really like each other.
Oh,
I think that's pretty obvious.
Well, with a long history, they're like that old crotchety married couple, I guess.
Right.
That over the years, they just know how to push each other's buttons.
Well, I mean, this is the 10th tournament. If Shang Tsung wins this tournament, then they get Earthrealm pretty much.
Exactly.
So, and that can't happen.
So meanwhile, our fighters and Sonya's just has no idea what's going on. She's like, "What tournament? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And then Shang Tsung replies, "Oh, you've been chosen, Sonya, much to my delight."
Like I said, like she's a dessert. Like you're gonna be good.
It,
Like you know what I mean?
It's so creepy. Like watching this minute over and over again, it like made me feel grosser every single time that I watched it. It didn't bother me too much whenever I initially saw it. I guess because it just didn't connect with me when I was a child.
Sure.
But I still like don't really understand Shang Tsung's fascination and obsession with Sonya Blade.
Well, I mean, I do.
Oh, is this
But
some
that's
game
not
stuff?
until a later minute.
Okay, that's
So I
fine.
can't
Yeah, we can
really
definitely
go
say
into it too much, but yeah, there is a reason for it, and yeah, well, I can't see. I'm not even going to do it because I don't want to ruin it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. One thing that I do want to mention, I forgot to mention it earlier, but when Raiden initially makes his entrance, Shang Tsung says, "Oh, Lord Raiden, so great for you to grace us with your presence." He does this hand gesture, like this salute greeting, where he has an open face palm. I think it's his right hand, and his left hand is a fist, and he is like presenting it almost like a gift or something.
Oh yeah.
Towards Raiden.
It's more of a respect thing.
Yeah, it's a respectful greeting type thing, and I'll have more information on that in a later minute. But I just wanted to note that he does this same type of greeting here. This is the first time that we see this, and I just noticed it this first time. It's very quick. It's subtle because he's in the background. You don't really. You have to be really sharp on it. I haven't noticed it for years and years, but yeah, it is there, and I just found it very interesting that he did.
You also noticed that Raiden didn't do it back.
No. Oh, the disrespect.
Yeah, because obviously he did it to him as more of a disrespect thing anyway.
And, yeah, exactly. And the final thing that I have for this minute is that the script is entirely different.
Okay.
The fight that happened. So for one thing, in the script, Shang Tsung isn't even there yet.
Right.
It's actually the captain that Sonya Blade was talking to, and then Scorpion and SubZero make their entrance. They do their much like similar to the scene where where SubZero freezes the gun and whatnot. But then they actually do get into a brawl. They're actually fighting one another. And Johnny Cage tries to lock Scorpion into some sort of wrist lock, and Scorpion's wearing gloves, but Johnny Cage is holding on too tightly, and it rips the glove off, and Scorpion has a pincer claw hand for some reason.
That's weird.
And he's trying to go after Johnny Cage's throat with his other pincer claw hand, and it just seemed a little ridiculous and over the top.
Well, there's a Mortal Kombat cartoon. It's actually only on the ship, and I think it's in the extras in the DVD. And they actually do fight on the ship.
Right. So they do fight on the ship, but Scorpion doesn't have claw hands.
No, that's weird. That is not depicted in the cartoon at all. So I don't know what that is about.
Right. Exactly.
That was obviously someone that wrote it that didn't really understand.
There's a reason why this was just a very rough draft, and they were still writing up parts of the script as they were filming.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But that's all I have for this minute.
Oh,
hey. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, while I go buy Spanish a Coke, this has been another minute. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I'm Phil Casper.
I'm Spanish.
And we'll see you next time on the Mortal Kombat Minute.